High Court. Justice in the life and conduct of the state is possible only as it first resides in the heart and soul of the citizens. A warm welcome and a hearty good morning to all the viewers. Once again, we are here on a digital platform to celebrate International Justice Day, which is widely celebrated all over the world on 17th of July every year. The International Justice Day commemorates the historic adoption of the Rome Statute on July 17, 1998, and marks the importance of continuing the fight against impunity and bringing justice for the victims of war crimes, crimes against humanity, and genocide. The day is a reminder of urgency for all states committed to justice around the world to ensure the continued support for justice. It demonstrates the crucial role of civil society members in ensuring that ICC member states live up to their obligations. I would like to introduce you all to the speakers for today's assembly. Absolute freedom is the right of the strongest to dominate. Camus wrote, "Absolute freedom is just achieved by the suppression of all contradiction." We have Navya Chaudhary to draw people's attention towards the serious issues related to justice through her speech on the topic "There's no freedom without justice."
Freedom and justice cannot be parceled out in pieces to suit political convenience. I don't believe you can stand for freedom for one group of people and deny it to others. Good morning to all. Today, I'm going to throw some light on the topic There is no freedom without justice, significance of World International Justice Day, also known as International Criminal Justice Day, which is commemorated on 17th of July every year. This day marks the entry into force of the Rome Statute for the ICC, which took place 10 years ago in 2002. Now, you must be wondering, what is the ICC? Let me answer this question for you. ICC stands for International Criminal Court. It came about when 120 states adopted a statute in Rome. It was known as the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court. All the countries that agreed to adopt the statute were accepting the jurisdictions of the ICC with regards to the prosecution of very serious crimes. This idea was not for the ICC to replace national courts, it is only able to intervene when a country cannot or won't carry out investigations and prosecute perpetrators. So, World Day for International Justice is celebrated on 17th of July every year to mark the importance of the International Criminal Court and for the people to pay attention to very serious crimes happening around the world. Those who commit gross violations of human rights or violations of humanitarian law that amount to international crimes such as systematic murder, torture, rape, enforced disappearance, enslavement, or destruction of property now have no safe haven. The ICC is the first international justice mechanism of its kind in the world. It sends a strong message to the perpetrators of human rights violations around the globe that you can run, but you cannot hide. You will be found and you will be held account for what you have done. While the international justice process is still at the infancy stage, it is developing rapidly. It has its roots in the universal human rights movement, which itself grew out of the atrocities committed during the World War II. International justice has evolved such that no one who commits such crimes is immune from being held to account, even heads of states. We have seen General Pinochet facing justice in the 1990s. We have seen recently Charles Taylor, the former head of state of Liberia, being tried and convicted by the Special Court for Sierra Leone. Further, you would think that what is the aim of this day? The aim of International Justice Day is to unite everyone who wants to support justice as well as promote victims' rights. It is to help prevent serious crimes that put the peace, security, and well being of the entire world at risk. Moving on, let's date back to the history of World International Justice Day. The date 17 July marks the anniversary of the adoption of the Rome Statute, the founding treaty of the ICC, which seeks to protect people from genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, and the crimes of aggression. This was in the year 1978 at the review conference of the Rome Statute held in Kampala, Uganda on 1st of June 2010. The Assembly of State Parties decided to celebrate the day as the International Criminal Justice Day. Why is World Day for International Justice celebrated? The day is celebrated to highlight the importance of the International Criminal Court and work it has done to bring about justice for the victims. It makes people aware of the stand the court takes for the victims and against those who in the past would have had no one to answer to after committing widespread genocide or crimes, systematic international crimes. What is the UN Human Rights Office approach to empowering the national justice mechanisms since not all perpetrators can or will be tried at the ICC? We believe that it is the duty of every state to both put mechanisms to protect its people against violations and also to ensure accountability in the face of violations. The international community has a responsibility to ensure accountability, and this can take place through the developing system of international justice with its established justice mechanisms. To conclude, peace and justice are two sides of the same coin. In this world, you have the law. You get justice in the next world. Thank you for being.
The criminal justice system is the network of government and private agencies intended to manage the accused and convicted criminals. The criminal justice system is comprised of multiple interrelated pillars consisting of academia, law enforcement, forensic services, the judiciary, and corrections. Palak Agrawal will throw light on the topic criminal justice.
Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Good morning, all of you. Today, I, Palak Agrawal, will give you a speech on criminal justice. The term criminal justice refers to the agencies of government charged with enforcing law, adjudicating criminals, and correcting criminal conduct. It is a set of legal and social institutions for enforcing the criminal law in accordance with a defined set of procedural rules and limitations. It is a set of legal and social institutions for the criminal law. Basically, the word criminal justice refers to a collection of federal, state, and local public agencies that deal with the crime problems. Its main objective is to prevent the occurrence of crime, to punish the criminals, to rehabilitate the criminals, to compensate the victims as far as possible, to maintain law and order in the society, to deter the offenders from committing any criminal act in the future. It has three branches: legislature, judiciary, and executive. Legislative branch defines criminal behavior, establishes penalties, passes laws governing criminal procedure, provides funding for criminal justice agencies. Judicial branch built of persons charged with crimes, interpret the law, administers the process by which criminal responsibility is determined. In the executive branch, the powers are given to the president, governors, and mayors. They carry out many acts of government. They hold powers of appointment and pardons. They can lead efforts to improve criminal justice, provides leadership for crime control. The major components of the criminal justice system are police, courts, and corrections. The police enforce laws, investigate crimes, apprehend offenders, maintain public order, protect rights and freedoms of individuals. A court is a place where arguments get settled. It applies the law to the argument at hand and gives the punishment. The key players in criminal justice system are police, public prosecutor, defense lawyer, and a judge. Police investigates the case, arrest the accused, collect the evidence, keep the peace, prevent crime, and provide social services. Public prosecutors are the lawyers who represent the state and conduct criminal cases against defendants. They begin once the police file the charge sheet in the court. They must conduct the prosecution on behalf of the police investigation. It is his or her duty to present all the facts, witnesses, and evidence before the court. Defense lawyer represent the accused after arrest to give advice. They investigate details on the offense on behalf of the accused. They discuss the case with the prosecutor and test the strength of the state's case. They represent the accused at bail hearings and trial and then represent the appeal. The judge is like an umpire in the court. They hear all the witnesses and see the evidence presented by both the parties. They decide whether the accused person is guilty or innocent. In the aftermath of crime, there is shock and devastation, pain and trauma and fear. There is confusion about what is happening now and what will happen in the future. Yet, there is also a path of help, of hope, and of healing that is paved each and every time someone reaches out to help a victim of crime and to provide support to someone who is hurting. There is a path of justice that results from the simple act of service to victims and survivors of crime. Crime victims deserve to have their most important needs identified and addressed. Justice isn't served until crime victims are treated with dignity and compassion by our criminal and juvenile justice systems. Thank you.
Apparently, we've never seen statistics on wrongly convicted people, or the many men on death row whose convictions were overturned when new evidences came to light. Shivangi Sharma will share some very important information on the topic rights of the convicted and often ignored dimension.
Greetings to everyone. Today I, Shivangi Sharma, on this International Justice Day, take the opportunity to talk about the rights of the convicted, the often ignored dimension of justice. Each time we talk about justice, the very first thing that comes to our mind is the poor victim being manipulated and crying for their voices to be heard, and many other ideas that are centered to our image of a victim. But one aspect that we often ignore is the state of the plaintiff. In Blackstone's famous words, it is better that 10 guilty escape than one innocent suffer. So, you must be wondering that what are the rights guaranteed to the convicted and why should we advocate for it? So, the rights that the Indian criminal law ensures to the convicted are presumption of innocence until proven guilty. That is, a person is innocent until they are proven guilty. As per Section 1 of the CRPC, a person who is arrested without a warrant has full rights to know the grounds for which they have been arrested. According to Section 56 and 76, an arrested person has the right to be taken to the magistrate without any delay within 24 hours. Article 22(1) of the Indian Constitution ensures that the plaintiff has the right to be defended by the pleader of their choice. Some other rights guaranteed to the convicted are right to legal aid, right to free, fair and speedy trial, right to privacy and protection against unlawful searches, right to appeal, and the most important of them all, right to humane treatment in prisons, and so on. So, our very first and foremost concern is the inhumane condition under which the prisoners live. If they were sentenced to life imprisonment for say, they weren't sentenced to be confined in dark room for years with no basic living requirements. Where the constitution of most countries stands against arbitrary and illegal arrest, this has been no secret that how recklessly the police has been using their power under the influence of racist mindsets or even political biases for that say. So, secondly, what I talk about over here is police brutality. Right to bailment, right against illegal confinement, and the list can go on and on are rights that have been ensured to people to protect them from the harm that the police could cause them while performing their duty. But the real question over here is, are prisoners really allowed to exercise these rights? Because once these people get arrested and once these people are convicted or proven guilty, they become centers of public hate and no one really wants to ensure justice to them. Plus, how can a government ensure justice to its people when new cases of innocents being arrested on ground of sedition and terrorism charges are seen every single day? The irony being that most of these are as young as 25. So, the third aspect that we must ponder over is the dilemmatic condition under which the death row prisoners live. These people are neither executed and are neither being pardoned of their sins. So, won't this be considered double jeopardy? These criminals themselves become the victim of the judicial system. The treatment of prisoners' provisions are made in the International Convent of Civil and Political Rights, which has been adopted by the General Assembly of the UN in March 23, 1976. The Article 10 of this convention is the most important of them all, that states that these prisoners who are deprived of their liberty must not be deprived of the humanity. On conclusion, I'd like to say that we as vigilant global citizens need to advocate for the rights of the convicted each and every single time we talk about justice. Lastly, I quote what Martin Luther King Jr. once said. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. Thank you.
Well, injustice anywhere is threat to justice everywhere. Last but not the least, we have Bhumi Chaudhary to recite his self-composed poem on the topic Nyay.
सुप्रभात। मेरा नाम भूमि है और मैं कक्षा 12वीं की छात्रा हूँ। आज मैं आप सबके समक्ष न्याय पर एक कविता प्रस्तुत करने जा रही हूँ। सब करते हैं न्याय की मांग, पर क्या किसी को है असली न्याय की पहचान? रोज़ लाखों लोग कचहरी के गेट खटखटा रहे हैं, पर वहीं हज़ारों अपनी न्याय पाने की उम्मीद को दबा रहे हैं। जाति, रंग और रूप से किया जाता है यहाँ लोगों का अपमान। क्या यही है मेरा भारत महान? सड़कों पर, नदियों में पड़ी है लावारिस लाशें। क्या कभी बिना अन्याय के हुई है उनकी जांचें? कचहरी में हजारों खामोश आंखें न जाने क्या कुछ बोल रही हैं, पर अभी भी कचहरी सालों पुरानी फाइलें टटोल रही है। कानून देगा सबको सजा, हर अपराधी का होगा इंसाफ। बस अपराधी वीआईपी है तो हाफ, नेता हुआ तो सब कुछ माफ। न्यायालय में जाते जाते न जाने कितनी टांगे घिस है जाती, फिर भी न्याय मिलता वो भी बासी। इसलिए आम इंसान नहीं करता इन पर विश्वास। कई तो फांसी लगाकर खुद ही कर लेते हैं अपने दुखों का सर्वनाश। अजी, अब तो इस दुनिया में न्याय भी रुपयों में बिकता है। कई मासूम आंखों ने लोगों को पैसे के लालच में लिपटते देखा है। नहीं चाहिए अब किसी को कोर्ट कचहरी की तारीखें, ना चाहिए झूठे मक्कारों का करार। बस अब तो चाहिए एक ऐसा कानून जो निडरता से करे हर अपराधी को साफ। तो चलो अब हम सब प्रण लें कि ना सहेंगे कोई अन्याय। चाहे हो हिंदू, मुस्लिम, सिख या ईसाई, अब हर घर को मिलेगा न्याय। धन्यवाद।
Let's rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा। विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा। तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मांगे। गाहे तव जय गाथा, जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय हे, जय 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 हे।